My name is Sudhanva Deshpande. I'm an actor, director, and organizer with a group called Jana Natya Manch in Delhi. Jana Natya Manch is an old theatre group. We were set up in 1973. We basically do left-wing political theatre. The bulk of our work is street theatre, but that's not the only kind of theatre that we do. Aside from doing theatre, we also do other things. We organize workshops, talks, lectures, discussions, etc. etc. We have tried to think about, in a creative way, what the idea of political performance might mean. We've also tried to work with the idea of how does social change happen and what role can art play in that. As part of that, our relationship with a lot of activist groups, including trade unions, women's organizations, student groups, etc., has been very key to the kind of work that we've done, both in India and globally. There's been a very significant rightward shift to the balance of forces globally. And you'll find across the world there seems to be a sort of a brotherhood of strong men, right? Whether it's Modi, whether it's Erdogan in Turkey, whether it's Donald Trump in the US, you find that in a lot of societies, one after the other, the right wing seems to be making gains, and this poses an unprecedented threat to the people across the world. Donald Trump is not just the president of the US, he's the president of the world. That's the reality. The American president is the president of the world. I sometimes joke with friends saying, oh, we should all have a vote in the US elections. It affects us. The guy who gets elected there gets to rule over our destinies, right? So therefore we should get a vote. But I'm just saying that, and this, it's a deadly cocktail. So we are in a very difficult time, and I think at this time, especially in places like India, it's really important for street theatre to do what it has always done, which is to go out and perform, which is to raise questions, which is to throw us a kind of a metaphorical spanner in the wheels, in the works a little bit, which is to sometimes mock, to laugh, to question, to dissent, but also to help to build. So I really feel that groups like Jana Natya Manch, and we are not the only one in the country. There are literally, as I said, hundreds of groups like us across the country. So when I speak of Janam, I speak in a sense on behalf of this much larger movement, street theatre movement across the country, as a representative of that. So I just feel that it's all of our job now to go out and perform, because the fact of performance does at least two or three things. One, it keeps the idea of democracy as a real, alive, vibrant idea. Democracy is not something that you just get once in 5 years when you go out and vote. That's not the only form of democracy. Democracy is something that you forge every day on the streets, in public spaces, in schools, in factories, in hospitals, in colleges, inside your homes, right? If the fiber of society as a whole is not democratic, then you will find that at the electoral level, there would be authoritarian forces that would gain ground. That's exactly what has happened. So it's really important to go out and perform in public spaces so that you can democratize the public space more and more. That's one part of what one needs to do. The other part of what one needs to do is to give expression to people's anger. And the third thing that you can do through theatre is to bring people together in movements, encourage them to become parts of movements rather than just this one-off expression of anger. You know, to be sustained, to take part in sustained work. You know, and I think that at least at these three levels, street theatre has an important role to play in today's world.